Well, hello, welcome again to a reading through of Iliad, Book 16, and I got up to line 426. And so at this stage, Sarpedon, who was a favourite of, in fact, the son of Zeus, has seen Patroclus on the battlefield, and Patroclus has seen him, and the two of them are about to meet on the battlefield. It's interesting, of course, with Homer. He's told us early in the piece that Patroclus is going to die at the hands of Hector, but having told us that, he then delays the whole story and plonks in the middle of it this magnificent story about the death of Sarpedon. Again, also heightening the sense of tension and the sense of irony, really, in some sense, connected with the death of Patroclus. So era, there's that A from Amy, so thus he spoke, and alto is, despite the breathing, is from a verb halamai, to leap, and the aorist is alto. Kamesde is kama or kamai plus the de ending, to the ground. And so thus he spoke, and he leapt to the ground from, well, literally chariots, but from his chariot, sun chukesin, in his armour. Again, all these plurals for singular here. You could say with his accoutrement. And Patroclus, from the other side, when he saw him, Aden for Aden. So the subject of the first bit, of course, is Sarpedon, and now Patroclus from the other side, when he saw him, ekthore. This is from ek, and throsko is the verb. Throsko, to leap, and the root of it is thor, so you get the aorist here, ekthore. Aorist without augment. So he leapt out of his chariot. Literally the seat, but you use diphros is used, it's the seat on the chariot. So by metonymy, as I mentioned before, it comes to mean just the thing itself, so from the chariot itself. Hoi de hos tai gupioi. So normally the word for, this is a vulture, usual word is gups, gupos, it's a third declension noun. Igupios is a slightly rarer word for the same thing. So they, like vultures, gamps onukes, you can see onux, root in here, and gampto, bent. So it's literally something like with crooked nails, with crooked talons. And ankylokale, now a kalos is a lip, but here in this context it means a beak, because it's a bird, so an ankyla is curved or twisted. So they, like vultures, with crooked talons and curved beaks. Now we get a dual participle here, kladzonte, from klasdo, to make a sharp noise. So like these vultures, they like these vultures, crying out, and they're on the high rock and crying out greatly. Makontai, they fight. So they, just as these vultures with crooked talon and curved beaks, fight, crying out greatly on the high rock. And we get hos and the other hos. Thus, so in the same way, they, that is Patroclus and Sarpedon, keklegontes, this is a perfect participle. It's from the same verb we had up here, klasdo, to make a sharp noise. So they, having screamed out Orisan, they rushed against one another, rushed towards one another. And the son of Kronos, this is a genitive here going with Kronos, so the son of wily or twisted-minded Ankylo. It's the same, interestingly, it picks up the Ankylo up here. It's the same root of bent mind or twisted mind. So, having seen them, Eliezer, he had pity on them, from Eliao. And pros Aper, he addressed Hera, who is both his sister and his wife. So, interesting connection here, of course, that Hera is both his sister and his wife. And he says, O moi egon, this is just a standard cry, so alas for me. Hot here for hottie, so because Sarpedon, who is the dearest of men to me, and then we get, that's all in the accusative. Now, Moira here is from Moira, so we have to supply the verb to be here, and this is no finite verb in this sentence here. So, it is fated, I think. It is fate, or it is fated, for Sarpedon, the dearest of men to me. So, alas for me, because it is fated for Sarpedon, dearest of men to me, Domaini, this is an aorist passive infinitive, without the theta, to be tamed by Patroclus, the son of Menoetius. Dicthademoi cardiae memone phresin horminonti. So the dictha is something like in two ways. It's an it's adverbial here. So in two ways, the heart for me, so my heart, the heart for me, horminonti, for me thinking in my mind, or debating in my mind. Memone, funny word, it means to long or to desire, to long for. Perhaps connected with a root ma'o, others give it connected with an old root which doesn't occur otherwise, which is min, but it means to long or to desire. So it's as I am contemplating in my mind, my heart in two ways does my heart desire, and we get the two alternatives, A and A. So either now the participles on the next line, and there's the main verb. So an harpaxas, from anna plus harpasdo. So either having snatched him up, this is Sarpedon, being alive from the battle which brings tears, I might place him, this is from Tithami, in the rich land, Deimos in Homer is always land, in the rich land Lycia of Lycia. Or, now, Damaso, I will tame, understand him, at the hands of the son of Menoetius. Interestingly here, I suppose from a theological perspective here, that it's Zeus is simply thinking of using Patroclus as a means of, he says, I will tame him. But Zeus is in charge of all these things, and he's simply using Patroclus as a way of taming him. It's very interesting. I'll leave the commentators to discuss that further. Ton de amebet epeta bo opis potnia here, and the ox-eyed Lady Hera then replied to him, I notity, O most dread son of Kronos, poion ton muthon epes. It's perhaps a rhetorical question. It's sort of, what sort of word have you spoken? But it's not really a question. We'd probably render it as poios, but toios here, such a word you have spoken. Andrathneton ionta. Now the main verb's on the next line, so it's a question. So do you wish ex analusi, this is from ex analuo, interesting verb. It's only here in Homer and it's otherwise extremely rare, but analuo is not. We get cognate with our word analysis. So here it means to set completely free. So do you wish to set completely free, and then ex from death, ill-sounding death, dus akios, you get the echo root in here, ill-sounding death, a man being mortal, and long ago, literally fated by fate. This is a perfect participle. It's become fossilized. It only occurs in this form. And this is the word for fate, one of the words for fate in the dative here. So, so do you wish, again, to completely set free from ill-sounding death, a man being mortal, long ago fated by fate, long ago determined by fate? And it's a question. Erde, well, do it then. Ate, ata, lovely use of ata here, very strong but. Ate utoi pantes epai neomen theoi aloi, but all the other gods, and this is a future here, the sigma's dropped out, will not praise. Now the toi, you could say give praise to you, it could be toi for soy, or perhaps just indeed, but indeed, I think probably better here, the other gods will not praise, all the other gods will not praise you. Alla de toi erio, and I will speak another thing to you, that probably is soy here, and you cast it into your mind. Again, quite a stock phrase in Homer, stock line in Homer. Aiken son pempses, if, and it's ke here going with the subjunctive, so if you might send Sarpedon to his house. Now you've got the hon is the personal adjective here, his, which has got to agree with the domon, and we're getting the de ending on both of these, meaning to or towards. It's a nice little, very interesting little bit of grammar here. So to his house, and we get the de on both of them. So, and sown alive. So if living you might send Sarpedon to his house, Frazio may give thought lest some other one of the gods hereafter might wish, and the kai really is also, might also wish to send, now here's the personal adjective again, his own son from the strong battle. So, so give thought lest some other of the gods might wish also to send his dear son away from the strong battle, for many sons of immortals Makontai are fighting Periastu Mega around the great city of Priam. But if, or perhaps almost since, he is dear to you, Tion is your, so your heart, Olephuritai, this is from Olephurumai to lament. Your heart laments, it's almost a future here, but it's present form. So your heart experiences grief. Aitoi men So it's or, the arson imperative allow, from ERO, so allow him, now the infinitive's down here, daimeni, to be tamed in the strong battle. Now notice the accent on hupok goes with the cursi, under the hands of Patroclus, son of Menoetus. But if the soul and life might in fact leave him, so in other words, if he were to die, if he were to die, now we get pempain here is infinitive for imperative. So send, and the object of that is thanaton. So send death, got a capital theta here, send death with a capital D, and nerdemon and soothing hupnon, sleep. So send this pair, Pherain, to carry him, min for auton, until they might come indeed to the land of the broad Lycia. There his Casunatoi, there his brothers and Etai and his relatives, Tarcususin, this is from Tarcuo, to bury. There is a cognate noun, taricuo, with an epsilon, upsilon, and an iota in between here, which means to embalm, and it's possibly connected here. Here it's just buried, I think. So where his brothers and relatives will bury him, he for auton, tumbo, in a tomb and with a stele. For, explanatory gar here, for it is, or we would say this is, the geras, the privilege of those who have died. So when you're dead you get a tomb and a stele. Hos Ephat, and thus he spoke. And the father of gods and men did not disobey, but katekuen, from katakeo, he poured down to the ground, hymatot, so this is bloody, psias is, this is a genitive, meaning a drop, so drops. So he sent forth to the ground bloodied drops, or drops of blood we might say, Timon, honouring his dear son, whom Patroclus, now this hoi I think is referring to Zeus, so whom Patroclus was about, it's a dative of disadvantage I think it's called, so honouring his dear son, whom Patroclus is about to Thysain, to kill, to destroy, in Troy, Eri Bolaki, which is with rich soil. It's hard to get the translate the hoi, it's for him, so it's almost against him, but for him. And then Teilothi Patrace, far from his fatherland. And that is the next section of Book 16.